Gurmaigad the Yaskan Corliagus Kaima Regum Brodulis Maholiaki Gur Guaculish and Raktiak and Shaw La Horadscore Nadella and Northagus Erd Walu Telche again Chak the Kenny as a Sihiragus of Hojabber Tish January and Keshaw Labianta and West our son Mucher Nutuahi Gaheria a canter Yeher and the Chida. As we've heard, Minister, this is a vital piece of legislation. The amendment, if enacted, would have the effect of removing an unfair obstacle currently placed before many people who are simply just attempting to obtain planning permission in their own community, in their own rural area. And we're not talking about large property developers, we're not talking about speculators, we're not talking about individuals who are hoping to make a killing out of housing development. What we're talking about, as Deputy Kenny has outlined, is about genuine people in rural communities who want to build according to the County Development Plan and building standards in their own community, and they're being prevented from something that was not foreseen, that was not intended to be have the consequences that it has today and has had for quite a number of years now. We are talking about ordinary people. We're talking about hard-working people, those who have perhaps grown up in rural communities and who want nothing more than to build a home in which to live and raise their families. And that's what this is about. That's what Deputy Kenny's legislation is about. It is about supporting those families. It is about ensuring that they can live in their communities. The implication of the zero discharge rule has prevented these people from building a place to call home in rural Ireland, a problem which is particularly acute in counties throughout the northwest and the west of our island, areas which have for far too long suffered from depopulation, from rural decline, in no small part to existing rural planning laws. In recent years, the attacks on rural Ireland have been relentless. We've seen successive governments have not only failed to protect these communities from the attacks, but in many instances, they've been actually the ones that were responsible for them. Just this week, my own community in Bunbegan and Wunbug has suffered another attack, the victim of another assault on that village, which has seen the local post office closed down. But they are not alone. That has been witnessed in many areas across rural Donegal and the west of Ireland in particular. And what we need is an end to the policy of this government of death by 1,000 cuts to rural Ireland. Separately, it's worth mentioning, as part of tonight's debate, the current process in which areas are designated as SACs and SPAs and NACs in a bid to restore or maintain our favourable conservation of habitats and species by restricting certain human activities needs to be looked at. This too has resulted in large swathes of rural Ireland being no-go areas for development. And while no one is saying that our natural environment, our flora or our fauna should not be protected, in fact, it is crucial that they are. It is clear that the needs and interests of rural communities must not be discarded whatever laws concerning planning and development are being formulated by legislators. And let me make this point to you as well, Minister, something that I've raised with your officials, with planners in my own county in Donegal, and that is the golden handcuffs that are placed on individuals when they find that they have developed, in some cases that may be the construction of houses, it may be the placement of mobile homes, it may be an extension to the house, but when they have done that on SACs, there is no ability to apply for retention. And we have a situation where planners are forced to demand the removal of such a development, in some cases even demanding the demolition of homes, and this is simply not right. There is a lacuna in the law, and these golden handcuffs need to be dealt with. This legislation will enable rural people to live and work in their own communities, and in doing so, it will ensure that rural tradition and the way of life there in rural Ireland, which we know only too well, will continue and will thrive into the future. So I am asking all the deputies in this House to support the amendment, to support the legislation and oppose the amendment coming from government, which is nothing but a deferral and a kicking the can down the road. Rural Ireland have waited long enough for this issue to be dealt with. Now we have a solution, a practical solution coming from Deputy Kenny, who deserves our praise, and not only our praise, he deserves our support tonight in this House. So I urge all deputies to stand with Deputy Kenny and to stand with rural Ireland and all rural communities who can be found the length and breadth of this state, who are suffering as a result of this rule currently in place. Gurmaigad.